think Matthew will be joining us too.
Really? Okay, there's Fiona. So, all right, we might as well get started. We're going to try to move fairly quickly with, and we'll skip, of course, some things as well. I'm fighting a cold and layered with allergies, so excuse my voice. With Blagoslovi, I think what we'll probably do with the Brights is we'll very likely be set up in 3 rows when we perform, which means a first row of about 10 singers and about 20 singers behind. So I think the Brights will be the first row. And this worked pretty well in D.C., where it was almost sort of self-selected. The Brights faded out, cut out of the main section, and the bulk of the voices held, and the Brights started. So the only reason to go through it now is so that as you're muted, you can practice being one or the other of those sections, and you can mix it up.
Steve, I've got one note for the Church Slavonic section as a whole, just a sec.
Okay.
Which is, I've recently, listening to some old Yale Russian chorus recordings. I just want to remind everybody that in the Church Slavonic, that you don't reduce vowels. You sing the vowels as they are on the page. So we don't sing Blagoslovi, we sing Blagoslovi. We sing glasom moyim, not glasom mayim. So be sure you're singing with Slavonic and not Russian accent through these anthems.
So it's not conversational Russian. There's not the pre-tonic and post-tonic reduction of the vowel.
Think of it as a different language. That's right.
Yeah. And John, you had a question.
I think we were also going to pronounce some of the Slavonic in a Ukrainian way, as in hospody rather than gospody.
Yeah, John, that's only on Blažen muž. Okay, so why don't you all mute up and we'll just go quickly through Blagoslovi just to get used to the overlap. And also, when the dark voices take over, Nagorach and Posredye, when the dark voices take over from the Brights can sneak back in. So you don't have to lay out of that whole following section. You sneak back in, and I'll call that out as it comes. So everybody mute up, and you have Blagoslovi duše everybody would breathe. See So, except for that unison spot, and it looks like measure 46 in the bottom of page 22, where some of us had learned it earlier in a harmonization. Everything else we can sort out when we're in the room together. We should go on to Blaj and Muj. Louis posted a cleaned up, Ukrainianized pronunciation, and most of you may not have had a chance to print it out or download it yet. So, Louis, I think if you want to clarify it, probably you should unmute and screen share.
Okay, I'm unmuting and I am sharing. Just bear with me a sec.
Is this the one that says March 8th?
And just to synopsize, it's mostly the short I's, the I instead of E, and the lack of palatalization. But he'll walk you through it.
Yeah, so there are just a couple of things that vestigial Russian pronunciation in the March version, which I just corrected. But as you see here on the screen, the letter E does not palatalize. The E does not palatalize the preceding consonant. So, like at measure 3, Ije ne ide na sovit nechestivich. And in Ukrainian, there are fewer letters that palatalize. The labial consonants do not palatalize ever. So it's Sovit. And then one other slight thing to be aware of is that Ukrainian, like Italian, if there's a double consonant, you pronounce it double. So the word Alleluia, it's Allah. There's extra L on that. You see how I've transliterated Alleluia. That's probably hardly noticeable, but that's how they pronounce it. And otherwise, what you have in the March score is still correct. So why don't we run it, Steve? I'll keep the score up so people can refer to it as we go through it.
Steve, how many syllables in Alleluia?
Yeah, listen, as long as we're Louis, if you scroll down a little bit on that first page, down to the bottom system. If you look at the last measure there, Alleluia, I'm going to make an executive decision, and at the risk of ruffling feathers and opening cans of worms, I'm going to go back to the original first, the Erste Fassung, the first version of the Mickiewicz, and I'm going to say that we will always do. I'm going to go 4 rather than 5. So measure 10. Hallelujah, hallelujah. The harmony wants it to be 4 rather than 5. So if you want to think of Louis as 2/16, very fluidly pronounced, if that helps you sleep at night, Hallelujah, hallelujah. I can't make peace with the quintuplet. It's hard to execute, and it disturbs what comes later. So for me, that bottom line is going to be Hallelujah, hallelujah. The way we did it for 20.
You'll notice
Sorry?
at measure 14, it's 4 beats. So y'all should just sing like that from measure 10 onward.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hallelujah. What?
My point is that in Slavonic, Alleluia is sometimes 4 syllables, sometimes it's 5.
Right.
And
So
for 14, it's 4. So we can do it 4 syllables elsewhere too.
right. So I think what I'm doing is saying I want it to be 4 syllables also, like in 15. I'm getting rid of the triplets. I'm making them duplets. The way Dennis transcribed it in the 50s. And the way we sang it in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It sings more fluently.
It makes sense, Steve.
And
I'm all for it.
so for this tour anyway, that's how I'd like to do it. And when the harmony asks for it to break into 5 syllables, of course I'm not going to change that. But I'm just getting rid of the triplets and the quintuplets. Anyway, you'll see as we go through it. So the important thing is Lewis's clarification on the pronunciation. So here's a quick traversal. Совіт нечестивих, і жене на совіт честивих, нечестивих, і жене на совіт. Sorry, нечестивих. Яко вість Господь путь праведних, і путь нечестивих погибнет. Яко вість Господь праведних, і путь нечестивих погибнет. See Работайте, Господеви, со страхом, и радуйтесь Ему с трепетом. We forgot to dedicate this to Pope Francis. Clearly, this was the one.
Well, we will when we do it for real, right?
Yeah.
Any questions on the Ukrainian Blazhen Mush before we move on? Good.
So in Glaso Mayim, the only thing to remember is that somebody's got to sing the third, the D flat. So whether you think of yourself as a first tenor or a second tenor, and it's supposed to be the second tenors. In that fifth bar, the first utterance, so that the first tenors take it over the next time. But we don't want to end up with nobody up there. So we'll sort that out. And then the other things to remember are that the measure 2931, that the first tenor's cut off on the resolution of the middle voices. The first tenors are out of the way, so that you're not still there. And then later on, that the bass is cut off underneath the tenor thirds. Basses are all diminuending and they're gone. And then there's a little quasi-fermata each time, before the solos continue and then before the tutti bass continues into B. But that, we can coordinate all of that. Chvalicia, just to remember that it's bright. It's the only one of these. Blagoslovi has a certain brightness to it, but it's a little harder. This is Chvalicia is sunnier. Okay, to move on to the next group. Step, I think, has been in good shape. Likewise, Kalinka. Paidulia. Those of us who grew up with Paiduli have to remember Paidulia. If we get it the first time, chances are good we'll get it the rest of the other times. And it's fun to not accelerate too quickly.
Sorry, Steve, it took me a while to unmute. On Kalinka, what key will we be doing it in? As written or in a different key?
I think we'll see. It's fine in G minor or A flat. Doesn't have to be A minor. We'll see how jet lag people are, what voice people are in. We've got some baritones we can show off, so we could do it in G minor.
Okay.
And I forget of the current. It'd be nice to show some of the campus kids off. If they've got a bravura tenor in their ranks. I know they've got that terrific baritone, bass baritone Daniel King.
Mm-hmm.
Does that nice step with Joe. I can't remember if Abraham did a Kalinka solo. Anyway, so that's an intermission decision.
Yep.
Yeah. So Zirvalasya, Ray and Lewis and I are having a Zoom call with John Graham, but I noticed in the itinerary we're singing at the Armenian Genocide Memorial. So obviously we could do Steal Away. We could, I don't know if it's Bringing Coals to Newcastle to do an Armenian sacred song.
We absolutely should do an Armenian sacred song.
Yeah.
And we'll have a short time. We may just do one or.
Yeah, but something like Zirvalasya, would obviously be a very beautiful thing to do there if we could let them know what the song is about in the text and all of that. But anyway, we'll see how much music we're being asked for or expected to do. But Zir Velasio, we did some good work on. I'm happy to go through it again, or we can save it for next weekend. I don't think it's in the current campus repertoire, so I know I'm going to want to do it next weekend. Let me see some thumbs, like who, or hands, who wants it now? I saw two up, one down.
Steve, I'd like to say I won't make the next two. I'll be out of the country. This is my last rehearsal till I see you guys in Georgia.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's enough of. All right, let's go ahead. It doesn't take all that long. So here it is.
Hang on, Steve, just a sec. Share my screen. So in the study materials, there is a recording of Ukrainian group singing Zirvalasio Hurtovina. If you haven't listened to it, I encourage you to listen to it, both to get the language right, and also they are accompanied by banduras. So if you're curious to hear what banduras sound like, there's a great example.
Terrific. Thanks, Louis. And we should Bandura we haven't visited in a while, so we should go through it quickly. I know Fiona has learned the solo. I don't know, Tom, is Reed on this call?
I haven't seen him.
No. So Tom, I don't know if this is something that lies well for you or not, but for the solo line, it's high, but it's also sort of romantic. So it could. I'm not sure if it could be crooned a little bit. It's because it's low for our basses. We can't really bring it down at all. So I think we should just take it out for a spin, just so people. Sorry.
Just said I will give it a shot. Yeah.
And it goes something like this: 1 and 2 and. So that'll take some organizing for sure. And I can't remember what kind of audio study aids we have for that, Louis.
There are recordings there. It's all ready to go.
Shall we save JMO for another day?
We can do that.
Quick traversal of the American stuff, or pick High Barbary and Gershwin, skip the spirituals, or do Steal Away, High Barbary, Gershwin, and the Quaker Shaker pastorals. That's a thumbs up from Joe.
What about?
I mean, they're super short.
How about good news? You want to work on good news?
We got do them all. By the time I finish saying this, we could have done them all. So, all right. So here's good news. And 1. I got a crown up in the kingdom, and that good news. I got Gonna take it home, gonna take it home to my Jesus. Into that good news, good short. I got a good news. Into that good. I got a Savior into the kingdom. Into that good news. Into that good news. Lay down this road. Gonna shoulder up my cross. Gonna take it home to my Jesus. Into that good news.
Steve, one question.
Yes.
Measures 6 and 7, and it happens elsewhere. The basses and baritones sneak out. When they sneak out, do they sneak out with a Z consonant, or do we just cut the consonant?
You can sneak out with a Z.
Okay.
You know, I think baritones, I think you're supposed to move to an E natural. Wait a minute. Crown up into the kingdom, into that good news, into that. Yeah, you missed something. In measure 8, the baritones are supposed to move to an E natural.
E natural.
Sorry, I didn't catch that sooner.
Okay.
Measure 8, the baritones are supposed to move to an E natural. That's from the Dawson. I played it, but I didn't fix it in the score.
All right, we'll fix it.
Yeah. Because you got the dominant, moves to the dominant there.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. The more Z's, the better. Z, that's why, Prozac and Zoloft and the Z, they did a study. Z is a sound that makes people happy.
You remember that?
That's why all those antidepressants have Z's in them.
Simple.
Let alone
Ozempic. I have two.
Ready for Lazarus?
Wait. Simple question on the score for Ain't That Good News. I have two. I have two files in the.
You have two files?
Yeah, I have one that has a bunch of hand markings on it. Do I have something that's old, and I have something that's marked 2023 songbook? Maybe I don't have a current one. What's the story there? I downloaded.
John, forget goddamn music.
Yes, and do what?
Yeah, you're singing bass?
Yeah.
The part hasn't changed.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't unmute in time. The reason why there's one that's hand marked, that's Steve put that up just to remind you to cut verse 2. That's what that is.
I can leave it aside, I suppose. Thanks.
Oh, it's just two pages?
Yeah, I think yes, that's right.
Yeah, that just shows you the cut.
Okay.
That just shows you the cut on the rest of the score.
Okay. Sorry for my confusion.
Yeah.
Could you repeat where that natural change was again? I think it was somewhere around measure 8.
It's measure 8, the baritone part.
Okay.
The last quarter note is an E, is what you're asking, I think, Richard.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. It's got to go down there. So Lazarus goes like this. People muted back up. Poor man Lazarus, sick and disabled. Dip your finger in the water, come my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. He had to eat crumbs from the rich man's table. Dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. Tormented in the flame. Tormented in the flame. Dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. Rich man Dives, he lived so well. Dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. And when he died, he went straight to hell. Dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. I'm tormented in the flame. coming, cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. I love to shout, I love to sing. Dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. I love to praise my heavenly King. Dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. Coda, I'm tormented in the flame. I'm tormented in the flame. Dip your finger in the water, dip your finger in the water, dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, cool my tongue, dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. Dip your finger in the water, coming, cool my tongue, 'cause I'm That's how that goes.
Yeah, that smoke got to you in that flame.
Yeah. Lamb. Little lamb, little lamb, little innocent lamb. I'm gonna serve God till I. Little lamb, little innocent. I'm gonna serve God till I die. And these are gonna be solos now. That's new. Hypocrite, hypocrite, tell you what he do. I'm gonna serve God till I die. He'll talk about me, and he'll talk about you, talk about. I'm gonna serve God till I die. Little lamb, this is all the baritones. I'm gonna serve God till I die. Little innocent lamb. I'm gonna serve God till I. This will be a solo. Devil, he's got a slippery shoe. I'm gonna serve God till I. Solo. Now, if you don't mind, he's gonna slip it on you, slip it. I'm gonna serve God till I die. Super hushed. And smooth. Hushed and smooth. 'Cause there ain't no dying. 'Cause there ain't no dying. When that heavenly, building slowly in that heavenly, ain't no dying, 'cause they're in that heavenly land, Solo. Just take one brick from Satan's wall. I'm gonna serve God till I. All the seconds. Satan's wall gonna tumble and fall. I'm gonna serve God till I die. All the baritones. Little innocent lamb. I'm gonna serve God till I die. Little lamb, little innocent. I'm gonna serve God till I die. Hushed and smooth. Over ain't no dying over. That heavenly, building slowly, no dying, 'cause there ain't no dying. That heavenly land. So I rethought those things. Baritones, the thing I do like at the beginning is little lamb, little innocent lamb. The shadow vowel. Don't be shy. Glenn will show you how to do it. And David Geltman. All right. Steal Away to Jesus. Steal away, steal away. So the first two after steel, they tend to go away a little bit. And then the third one goes through to Jesus. Almost as if you're getting your nerve up. This one also, in spite of that hairpin, we probably won't do that. This time the basses add the low E flat, last time only. The basses add that low E flat from the last measure. You add it to the fine bar, last time only. And then if you're Ezra Griffith, anybody remember Ezra Griffith? I don't see anybody from the Ezra Griffith days. We had a professor of psychiatry who joined the chorus who he not only had that low A flat, he had the low F below it. Unbelievable. Anyway, Chariot, we don't need to do Chariot, do we? Mark?
No, just be aware, we also have an SATB version. We don't need to go through it now, but be sure you've got a copy of that, and we'll be singing with the partner choirs.
Yeah. And of Steal Away. So we tried to preserve the contour. There's a couple of octave changes, basses, so just heads up. But basically, baritones will learn the bass part, and I think, let me look. Well, actually, and the tenors, you're sort of singing the baritone part, but it's okay. You'll figure it out.
I had a minor wording question that I might as well clarify now. Is it for sinners stands a trembling, or for sinners stand a trembling?
Poor sinners stand a trembling.
Okay. I remembered it as a singular.
Oh.
Like in the Russian translation, it's
Poor
singular.
sinner stands a trembling. Oh, is it multiple sinners standing or one sinner stand?
I always remembered one singer, and it's reflected in the Russian translation, but I'll go with multiple sinners.
Well,
Poor
let's-
sinner stands a trembling. Oh shoot, Glenn, do you remember what we do in the Apollo Club version?
I think we do the singular.
I think it's sinner stands a trembling.
We'll check the original score and let you know.
Yeah, yeah, I think I think it's one sinner.
I remembered singular. For what it's worth,
Because he calls me by it's I ain't got long to stay here. It's sung in the singular voice.
I think Rich is correct, but a better version is in the verse on the next page where it says, "Poor singers stand a trembling."
I believe we've corrected that.
and for what it's worth, there the Russian is singular. My Russian is singular.
All right, let's
Bartholomew, it is singular, so that's what we'll do.
yeah. Well, for sinner stands a trembling. Let's do High Barbary.
Quick question.
Yeah.
When I try to download the new piece of music, it says that it's in the owner's trash.
Yeah, you got to go down below one. Just go down one entry below that,
Okay.
and it'll be there.
All right, thanks.
Anytime that happens, it's because there's a new improved version. So here's High Barbary, and some what. Oh, Dennis once called me a pedant for normalizing something. Some pedant changed a starn to a stern in the latest Yale Glee Club compendium. I noticed, but I like a starn.
I like a stern because no one in Georgia knows what a starn means.
Oh, you want us to change it? You kept a starn.
I kept it because that's what it is, but
You want us to say a stern?
I want us to sing standard English. Yes.
Okay, all right. So let's change it. This is your proprietary song, so I'm happy to change it. So we'll say a stern.
Or we could say
I found it sort of charming, but
Yes, but you're a native English speaker,
well, I'm from New England.
and
I'm a New English speaker.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. I'll do my best to keep this going, not too fast. All right, people muted up. 2, 1. Look ahead, look astern, look a weather and a lee. Blow high, blow low, and so sailed we. I see a wreck to windward and a lofty ship to lee, a sailing down along the coasts of High Barbary. Blow high, blow high, blow sailing down along the coast of High Barbary. A sailing, a sailing, a sailing, sailing, a sailing, 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 sailing. And so sailing we. So I should review the things I didn't play very well. Or do you want to, are you okay? We did a lot of work on this last week. Was that a keep moving?
Keep moving.
No, that was review. So page 193, second brace. Bass, second, first. The la-la's a little slower. Second system. 1, 2, here we go. 2, 1. Then etc. And then on 194, the bass is only. And the baritones, here the basses start 194. And the second tenors, here the basses start 194. Baritones. And the firsts, here the beginning of the canon, the assailing at 194, basses, baritones, seconds, firsts. So let's do that much up. So we're going up to the unison where the printed fortissimo is. So the top of 194, assailing, mezzo forte, basses a little bit slower so I can maybe play it all. 1 and 2 and basses start. Pretty good. Actually, let's continue from there until baritone second, 1 and 2. Sorry, high Barbary goes like this. Bass, baritone, second, first, and. Going on. So, and so sailed we, the printed pianissimo, last page, page 195, second system, and so sailed we, basses, and. baritone. So I'll play basses lightly, and so sailed we. 1 and 2. And now seconds alone. This is kind of the tune. That spot, printed pianissimo, 1 and 2. So you're kind of hands in the pockets with the baritones there, and then firsts, and so sail it 1 and 2. Yeah. It's a little weird. Everybody, that spot. Bass, baritone, seconds, first, 1 and 2. Okay, so from the middle of the page, the bass is a sailing. A sailing, 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 a sailing down along the coast of high. And baritones, the basses start those eighth notes. Sorry. Sailing, sailing, a sailing down along the coast of high. Tenors, second tenors, basses start. That's your note. Sailing down along the coast of high. And firsts, basses start, seconds. So middle of the page where the basses start, slow down a little bit. 1 and 2 and.
Fiona has a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the second to last bar, Steve, can you just talk through the tempo of that, like that high? We do that.
Yeah, you know, I'll be in quarter notes at that point. Either David McConnell or Jeff Duma, somebody marked that the quarter note stays the same. in an effort to sort of normalize the whole thing. A sailing down along the coast of High Barbary.
Okay.
So
I just wrote
it'll be clear enough, but
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
And Steve, like on Barbary, are you flipping all those R's? Barbary?
I don't think so.
Barbary?
Barbary.
Yeah, but hey, Barbary Bop. No, I think it's yeah. I think we'll just do American R's. Hi, Barbary. Yeah, I don't much want the flipped R. Anyway, what would you? We only have a few minutes left. You wanna go through the Gershwin, or
Gershwin's the more challenging of the rest of them.
yeah, maybe we'll walk through the Gershwin and then call it an afternoon.
And reminder, next week, we're going to be meeting on Sunday, the 4th, in the evening with the students. There will be no Saturday session.
All right. Good. I finally found a synthetic reed that I think is going to sound pretty good. Being impervious to weather and sitting for long stretches of time without being moistened. I'm trying it out on the Apollo Club. Glenn can tell you I've had fewer squeaks last Monday than ever before. Thank you, folks. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice message from John Graham. He's how fortuitous that somebody like that would be there to guide us on a tour like this, huh?
What did he say? Should I miss that?
Well, I mean, he did his PhD research on Georgian chant, and he's an American who lives in Tbilisi and knows what we're about, and Louis, did you know him in New Haven?
I didn't know him in New Haven, but I knew of his work, and yes, I mean that's why we're working with him. It's such a great.
Yeah.
I knew him on Facebook, but I'd never met him before.
Great. Okay. I don't know if you're in touch with either any of the New Haven people or other people who haven't been able to attend, but if we can get, there's 33 of us singers. So how, the more we can get on that Sunday, May 4th, especially, not to mention the Saturday, May 10th, which is going to be really focused on the Armenian and Georgian repertoire, would be great. But I don't even know, except for I think there were only 3 New Haven kids who are going to join us who were in DC, right? 3 or 4 of the 7, because a number of them couldn't be there. So I don't even know what they look like. And we don't want any spies coming along on this trip. We don't want to. Those Bob Fischelis was the only CIA plant on the tours in the 60s.
Aaron, you have a question?
Yeah. Of the people in this room right now, who's going to New Haven next Friday?
I guess none of us are, unfortunately.
I guess it's just me then. All right, so I will let you know if they tell me anything.
Please send our regards.
Cool.
Great. All right, thanks again.
Thank
What
you.
time Sunday?
Sunday is 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
And you're going to have a Zoom for that, of course.
Yeah.
That's a Zoom, yeah. You use the same link, Louis, or you'll?
I'll put it. I think it's a different link, but I'll
Okay. All right. Very good.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.